Dee, 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 dee. Oh, this old Charlie's been here. Just when I relax, I just like I'm getting sexually harassed. And it's like this unfortunate, cruel sort of prison I live in because what I think a lot of people consider perfectly normal, I consider sexual assault. That's like interesting. When he's playing the, I like to syncopate a little bit with my stick or with my voice. Kind of like in between it, isn't it? Oh my lord, nice rest. I'm gonna sleep. The relief. My mom didn't get too molested this week. And, oh god, they actually probably made a fairly good choice in that end, but they haven't made a good choice than other people in this environment. It just goes to show interesting. So to say something is demonic is to say that it's got many hues, and that also in the demonic, I say in a sense, there's been a sort of raven magic. Maybe that's why the raven is considered the trickster. I do sometimes get stopped by there, there are people who, like I was walking by a young couple there, and the girl wasn't just looking at me, but her energy was definitely on me. I could feel it. Now, if I had looked at her or looked up, it would have just sort of lit the fuse for a conversation, and I just avoided different strokes and folks. Well, fixed it. Maybe that young man has twisted energy. Maybe he was looking at me just because he wanted to look at me. Okay. Sorry. You can believe it all you want. Oh, it's more slippery. That's cool. I feel really exposed. That just tells me how I'm feeling. I feel really overexposed when I'm outside. I don't usually walk along the boardwalk, so it's like I have to think about it. Hello. Welcome home. He just said welcome home to me. He said, yeah, it's good. You know, can I stretch with you for like 3.5 minutes? Not a big deal, but I haven't walked on the board. Can I stretch with you for a second?
Stretch?
Stretch is like as you were saying, it's like just a rent.
Yeah.
I don't like going on the boardwalk, guys. Maybe you could help me out. I spend a lot of time walking by myself. I go out there, I sit in the sun, there's people milling about. And there's about 10% probability, yes, that people are going to look at you or this, that. But you know, I'm sitting under this tree, and this woman, this Japanese woman with her boyfriend, pulls out this huge camera and points it under the tree next to me. Points it, and I think, oh, here we go, right? And if you were there, you'd say, oh, Landon, don't make a big deal of it, right? And I sort of just sit there and smoke or whatever, and I think, this is that. And I look over, and sure enough, the lens is pointing fucking at me, either unconsciously or not, right? And people will have different values. And it's like she pulls it away and starts walking on with her boyfriend. It's like, you know? Maybe she's just taking a picture of the tree because it looks like a nice picture.
I doubt if she would be that obvious.
I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's probably like she's just maybe pointing in that direction. But also, you should be cautious about people seeing you pointing a big camera in that direction, right? Because I make a somewhat obvious photo, but in a sense, you should pay me if you're going to include me in your photographic art. I didn't like it, you know? It's just, but you know, and it's like, you with that young man today, it's like, it's not really obviously bad, but it's just like, I feel like there's just an off energy.
Yeah.
Where they're, you know, it's overexcited, you know, or people just lose their inhibitions. I try to be very cautious about such things, and I tend to have high expectations of others, which kind of, but I do trust feeling. If I don't feel, it's good to say something, you know, it's like, okay, it doesn't feel right, alright, yeah. Probably just, people sometimes are over-friendly. Yeah?
Or just not thinking.
Yeah, thoughtless.
You are very thoughtful and sensitive.
Like that Gordon guy just talking about grapefruit making a lot. Like, I'm sure he wasn't trying to be, but it gave me it really put me off. And like, dude, like my life, people don't make a lot of comments about the food I'm buying. Whether you're buying 6 loaves of bread or all of a sudden buying a bunch of, you know, steel cutouts or something. You know, people pay attention to what they want to. But you never feel like you have to justify what you're doing while you're shopping.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, you know what I found? I didn't even think about it. There's like a bar of chocolate in my coat pocket from like months ago. How's that for a little? Look at it. I didn't even think about it because I'm so used to it. Look at this. It's a chocolate bar. It's a hazelnut chocolate bar. Do you want one?
No. Oh, one of those.
Yeah. I'll bring it. Pick it up. You gotta work it. There you go.
Yeah, I haven't had that for a
I have to put it away because this stuff will keep you up at night. But you gotta be disciplined. I also found another mask, so that's good. So I found a hat, A mask and some chocolate. Good day for me. I mean, there's like people I've met who call people dear, and they're honestly surprised. Or they told me they're surprised that some people get mad at them. I'm like, everybody wants to be talked to that way. Some people it's patronizing. It's like they don't know the language. Like if I was in a different country, they might say, "Hey, you can't talk that way to that person." Japanese people are very respectful of elders, for instance. It's like, you just don't. That's why you find sometimes Japanese people, young people, are very respectful. And just they're taught that. You think you wish everybody was. Japanese have a very high culture, really. I'm not saying everyone, but I've seen Japanese tourists on the beach, and they're some of the nicest people you ever meet. They literally belong in a book, full of Japanese photographs. Like they really are friendly as you'd see in a book. Wow. And you realize how different they are from the locals. Like, if I wouldn't do this, but I want to say to them, you're nicer than the local white people. You should come and get workshops and make them nicer people. And just wherever I've had issues with people, I almost think like if they just knew how to be better people, if they had more manners, more professionalism, like just things you wouldn't normally see. Anyway, that chocolate was nice. It's weird. I pulled it out of my pocket. I didn't even think about it. Although I haven't worn that jacket probably since I got this jacket.
Oh, well, no, you wore it one day.
Maybe.
Because you complained about the same thing
Yeah, I know. Anyway, it was fine. Oh Lord, it's sat under a tree in the sun, but unfortunately, you're fairly prominently displayed. And then I was sitting there, and there was this one truck sitting there with people, and as soon as I started leaving, they were leaving, and then they stopped, and I was like, you get a little paranoid, but you think, okay, you realize that there's just patterns. There's human beings and there's patterns. Maybe they got tired of being there when they saw that you were tired of being there. And then I noticed that they were looking for a parking spot, and sure enough, they found a parking spot. So they just literally had something to do, and we happened to leave at the same time. So it's just interesting, right? Yeah. And the other day it was the bylaw officer. He was sitting there the whole time I was there. I got up, he left, and then he was parked down by the restrooms. And I went down there, and I thought, oh, there you are again. But he probably just makes his rounds. He just parks there, looks for things, goes, right? I just happened to be moving at the same time. I thought, oh, that's interesting. And you keep track of patterns. And if you were doing a little chronicle, it's like, okay, paranoia, 2.5. But I was in sync with other people. And some people are going to point cameras at me. I'm going to decide not to be too bothered by that. But I looked at them a couple times, and they were looking back at me. And it's like, hey, so you're sensible that could make me uncomfortable. That's all I want you to know. You're sensible that kind of got my attention, because I'm a very aware animal. And that's probably why she wanted to take a photo of me. Like, they probably picked up on my energy, sitting there, most of those people who've been out there for 20 minutes, I was out there in the cold, the dark, and the rain and the snow. And I'm still out there in the sun. And I'm enjoying it like nobody's business, right? You can imagine how much I'm enjoying direct sunlight. It's like, and I have my stressful times. And it's like, yeah, that was nice. And it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. People and their dogs, and, everyone just wants to be in their own space. I don't say there's a person out there that means harm to anybody, but looking and being seen for me is, I like it when it's like, look, and then that's it. Boom, you go on. I sometimes do spin my head around and see a woman staring at me, for whatever reason, vacantly and whatnot, as people do. And I'm not staring. I don't, when you're in a group, you're more likely to do that because you feel so comfortable.
Yes.
So it's like, I'm glad you feel safe staring at me. And that's fine. They usually look away. And it's like,
but it's always a female, and she's always at a certain age. It's like it's always okay. Very good. Most people have many other things to look at. And if that's my whole life is that I happen to catch some people's attention, it's like, oh yeah, great, good for me. But anyway, to finish my stretching, it reminds me that I don't really like the boardwalk. I'm not a big fan.
No.
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm a local or something. Just these people are roaming, and maybe they're happier than I am. I don't know, but I think if this turns out to be a pattern, I'm gonna have to find someplace else to walk. And I think the best, and this is probably this is the same process I usually go through. And I'm gonna go out there, and I'm just gonna take a left at the gazebo instead of a right. Just go down the other part of the beach, which is what I love, because you don't see hardly anything. And then usually after I've been down there for a while, then I might go on the boardwalk because I've had my alone time. But yeah, next time I'll take a left. Thank you for that. I have to make these decisions in my head, otherwise I just get pissed at myself. Go left. Go left. Tomorrow, go left. Go on the beach, especially if the sun is out. It's not a bad idea.
Heaven knows.
Let's take a nice hot bath now. Oh, cold as it was, I kept my feet up. So today I did something good that you told me to do. So a lady stopped me, same lady who said she was alone, and I started doing exercises. I said, "Don't mind me, I'm gonna do some exercises because I can't afford to get cold." She clearly wants to talk, so it's like, okay, well I'll do my time. I'll be polite. And then I say, I really should go. I let her finish her point, say thank you, I make my apologies, I gotta go. I'm a skinny man, I gotta go. It's cold out. And she's like, oh, I thought you were doing fine with your exercises, I can do it too. And now she's getting a little flirtatious, I was like, no, I gotta go. You see what I mean? Like you feel me, right? You feel me, right? Yeah. And what I've decided to do, Mom, I'm turning over new leaf. I'm gonna decide not to be angry about it, but I'm glad I followed your advice. I'm glad I said I gotta go. I didn't stay so long that I got cold and I got angry at myself for how long I stood there listening to this lady ramble on. And I don't want to, if I don't feel bad, then I don't have to feel bad about them. And it's like, go my way. And she's like, oh, I walk every day. I say, I'll be here again. And she's really just trying to friend. It's not, but it's like, I don't want this to happen. I don't want to run into old women. I don't. It's not really a good idea. But then I ran into the lady with the German Shepherd, and she's more of a lesbian. And I said, look, again, I gotta keep going. I've just been chatting with her. And then she wanted to stand there because her dog and both their dogs like balls, and they were looking at each other. So we waited. It's just like, oh, what a world. But I like the lesbian lady. I'm just pretending she's a lesbian. I don't know, but I prefer to think of it that way.
No, if you like her, then I think that's good.
What?
It helps you be comfortable.
Yeah. I was gonna assume she's a lesbian.
Maybe you should do it with all women here in Canada. Just pretend they're lesbians. We're winning all possible.
Oh, but trust me, I can tell the difference. When they tell me they live alone, they're not lesbians. Oh, look at this. Oh, there's my headphones. Okay. And it's just like my whole life, it's like I didn't really notice all these types of things, and now it's like, oh God. Oh God. When does it end? So I prefer talking to them if I have to talk to them. Or limiting the conversation. She's talking about Elon Musk. I'm like, oh, come on, spare me. It's just, you know what? She probably spends too much time on Facebook. And that's where they find out about the giraffes that don't have enough water in Africa. And I said to her, well, I understand that Africa is quite an arid part of the world in many respects. And then I asked her, what part of Africa? And she said, oh, I don't know. She didn't even know what part of Africa. You know how big Africa is? Oh, there's a drought in Africa. What part of Africa? 25% of it is a desert anyway. Oh, I don't know. So it's just this I guess what the theme for me when I talk to people, Mom, is limitations to their knowledge. Frightful limitations to what they think they know. So she's taking my time to think about giraffes in Africa, and Elon Musk is so rich that she sent him money to help the giraffes. I'm not sure how that all works. And I do honestly think these sort of wildlife sort of
climate change type of things, they're just milking people like her for money. You know, it's another way to milk people for money. But I'm not going to stand there and tell her she's wrong. She's enjoying herself. It's almost like online casino. I gave money to Elon Musk. Merry Christmas to the giraffes who don't have enough water in Africa. And also, what is also unseemly is that the Western world actually seems to care frightfully little about Africa, unless it's some sort of popular cause. I mean, Africa has not had a nice shake by the Western world. I mean, there are parts of Africa that still don't have electricity. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you really want to get concerned about Africa, I do like giraffes though. She got me on that one. I'm not so much. I think I'm on her level in other ways, but I do share her interest in giraffes. Like all the eating animals.
Yeah.
And you know what too? It's like living in Heartland. If there's a drought, maybe it's a natural call. You know what I mean? And they make so much of it. And it's like, yes, it sucks when every animal passes away, but it's like nature has her way of thinning out populations of animals. For whatever reason. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that's a likely idea. And then people just don't care more. Oh, they don't mind shooting half the local geese, but it's like, no, don't speak that way about the giraffes in Africa because Elon Musk said we can save them. Oh, he's a billionaire. He's like a playboy industrial billionaire. An actor. People think, oh, he's the richest man in the world. It's like, the royalty that own you. And all the local banks and all the money in the world and all the precious minerals and all the really important land and all the technology and your religion and you can basically put words in God's mouth. Yes, they own you. They're the richest people. But let mom's the word. It's like Elon Musk is he's the one to watch out for. And rich, poor. When everything is contrived, everything is controlled. Contrived is controlled. The more you contrive things, the more you control. When you're watching Ocean's 11, as much as they can dupe someone, they can control the area, control the reality, control perception, control, as much as they know when people are going to do things, and they're showing you a small version of how they control the world. If you contrive things, you control.
She brought the police in. The police were all part of that.
Yeah.
Well, that was so clever.
Yeah. When the police come in and they're called in, they're the ones actually taking the money. And it's like, see? And you control things. And what are the police, Mom? People always get defensive, but the police, historically, are marauding murderers for hire from the Queen. That's what they did. They cleaned up, they killed, they got rid of unseemly native people. They're hired assassins. And to this day, it's like they're wearing the carcass of their prey. I was telling someone this online, and I found in 15 seconds, I found a video that perfectly exemplified this. A guy comes up to a mentally ill man, police officer, initiates force, and when it's all said and done, he's asking a witness for their statement, and the first thing the witness says is, well, the first thing I saw was you attack that man. And he's holding it's the camera on his chest, he's holding the pen over the paper, and it's not moving. And this white police officer who was there beating up this homeless man with mental disabilities, he's like, it's okay, tell the officer whatever you saw. It's like, was he resisting? Okay, I guess he was resisting. Okay, he starts writing, resisting. And it's like, he's not going to write down attacked the man because that's, we're just being police officers, right? The guy was doing everything he wanted him to do, but he attacked him anyway. And you notice that the mass perception is like, it just boggles the mind. And it's very hard to understand that between the training, the situation,
and the generosity of the public that they've got to just do stuff and you don't know what they're doing and you know they're professionals and you know you're not. You add it all up, you know, they're almost not worth having around because you want them to be gentle with the most vulnerable people. That's what they should be doing. Those vulnerable people that are having that, they're going to have shock for the rest of their life. That's a trauma to them. And we can't forget that. You should only do it under extreme circumstances. So as a human, when you're watching this, whatever the police or people say, you're like, no, this is not right. You know? I mean, there's got to be some explanation, unfortunately, but it's just like, people start saying, like, what's the point of having them? I'm not the only one who says that. It's a whole defunding thing in the United States. Saying, like, what's the point? Why don't we defund them? Because they just hurt people. Off we go. Into the wild blue yonder. Off we go. Out into the wild. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to using my Tim Hortons card one day. Won't that be exciting? Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh God, how many people need to stare at you on the boardwalk? How many people need to stare at you on the boardwalk? What is it about you that makes people stare at you? Are you just paranoid and going home to eat a paranoid stew? Just stewing your juices and not in a fun way. Because you think people look at you, but you're just lonely and gay. Dun dun dun, you're just lonely and gay. Lonely and gay, lonely and gay, and that's what you really are. You don't even know that you're lonely and gay. You might as well follow that star. Hey ho, I'm lonely and gay. I'm not even sure if I should say that I'm lonely and gay. No, I want to be gay. I don't think I'm gay enough, personally. I think there's certain parts of day where I'm more gay than other parts. Does anyone else feel that? I'm not really homosexual, but I am sometimes a little bit gay. I don't want to like link it to like having a bath with a man and giving each other an oil massage and deciding who's the pin and who's the cushion. That's not really, I'm not into that. Let's be perfectly clear. I know there's going to be homosexual men out there and maybe some pretty doable lesbians who are going to be disappointed, but I'm sorry. I'm paying for that. I'm paying for it. Pain. Okay, sorry. Forget, I like lesbians, okay? You're the nicest people I know. But I also think a nice girl who I would like to know and like have like the year of joy knowing some other woman besides my mother. But I like my mother too, and I have many things to keep me busy and sad and crazy and scared and mad for life and soundness in all its many forms, and I make sounds out of my mouth that make it so. Shit, this is cold. Well, it was a cold day. I mean, I'm cold. This is actually quite hot. I'm just getting my legs in. If I can keep my legs in for a minute, and it's like, that's a good sign. I'm just, I'm recovering from shock. In the last 3 days, I haven't known, like, I knew there was going to be some communication. And my mom dealt with this young man today who came out and had been kind of looking at me in the road from a store that, I haven't had the most pleasant experience of. I was like, that's really weird, you know. And you go, oh, okay. And he doesn't know my mom, but he interacted with her today, and she felt weirded out by it. And it's like, so both my mom and I were weirded out by the same person who seems to be a fairly congenial young man, but it's probably a little bit possessed by the environment he's in. And that store is, reliably evil, I think. Oh, shit. And I cursed the church's Eastern Star right across the street from it in one of these small towns. And I created a crucifix-looking ruin and put some string around it that I found one day, just in the flow of things, down at this river in Nanaimo. And I urinated on it and just said, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and all the evil you bring to this world. And put it outside a grate under this tree in the front. And it stayed there for a while. And one day I noticed that the town service people were just cleaning the grate areas, and I must have found it. And I remember I was walking by not too many days after that, and I felt like something I'd never felt before, like I was being looked at. And I remember just going by that same area, and there was a service person working on something. I wasn't paying attention, but I just felt like something was staring at me, like they were glaring at me. And it's like, oh, okay, gotcha. And I just went home and I didn't think about it. So it's one of those things you just like, oh, I'm not sure how that fits into a story I could tell other people. So let's just forget it happened. And did it happen? It's like, why am I feeling this way? And I thought, oh, that's where I did that curse. And then within a year, some awful things happened in the store when I was shopping. And then right up until today, there was just the weirdest. And like, I don't shop there anymore. So in stating my rejection of the local Masonic Hall, let's say, in the most sort of ceremonial, magical way, stupid as it. I remember, and again, I got a comment on my YouTube channel. And this young man was saying, oh, that doesn't do anything. That's stupid. And I thought, really? Fuck you. And sure enough, he was wrong, as most white people are. This guy on my YouTube channel said, and this other one, he's like, oh, it's just about you and your mother. I'm like, fuck you. Check your hearing, motherfucker. And, such an easy, creepy thing to say. And, you might think I leave myself open to that, living with my mom and talking about various abuses I've suffered, but also things are going quite well. Oh, shit. Wow. So that's quite reliably cold. So when I say that, it means this bath is doing its trick.